Oh wow, Discord dropped new notifications.
Nice. Hello, hello. There we go. Hello, hello. We are organizing things today since my brain is so disorganized. It's not letting me open YouTube also, so I'm not sure what's going on with the YouTube chat. Maybe we... Maybe it'll let me do it through Streamlabs? Oh, there we go. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It wasn't popping up the chat. There we go. This is... Let's see. It's called Unbox the Room. And this is just the demo for the game. We're going to be playing a lot of games in July once I finally finish my book. I'm still waiting for the editor to finish the final pass-through for the chapters on my first novel, which is a vampire romantasy book. That one's really fun. It's going to be a 3-part series at least. I have pretty much the second book, I think, 2/3 of the way mapped out. And then the third book, I have the cover designed for that. But I have to have it illustrated. And we have, let's see, how many more chapters do I have to write for the second book? The second book's a contemporary fiction. It's got musicians and drugs, and lots of hanky-panky in it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more chapters. Well, technically 3.5 chapters to finish on this book. And I'm looking to have it finished by the end of the month, which is, it appears fast approaching. What day is it? Yeah, we got like 7 more days or something like that till the end of the month. So I'm going to finish that up. I'm going to do a final pass through, and then I'm going to open up for ARC reads and send it direct to publish. So if I do any additional changes to that, it'll be like a second edition on the book. I'm also working on figuring out how to do signed copies of the book. I've had a couple of people inquire about that. I don't really know how to sell a signed copy of the book yet, but I will figure that out. I think I have to sell those directly through a website though. Because otherwise I would just be making like a digital signed copy, which might be cool. But I think when people... Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when people want... Hold on, is it, like, super dark in here? 1 second. You guys can see, right? Maybe turn the brightness on this up just a touch. Is that better? I think usually when people want, like, a signed copy, they want, like, a physical copy, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong on that. So I'm gonna send out... I'm gonna for sure publish the digital one. Nice. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the YouTube chat. It's not syncing for me. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Can somebody type like a number 3 in chat so I can see if it's synced up on here? Because it's not, I don't see that it's populating on here. Can we get number 3s in the chat? Figure out if this thing is properly calibrated. I'm not sure what its deal is. Okay. So it looks like it's popping up on the Streamlabs version of it. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, no, I'm not sure why you're only showing up on the desktop version and not the chat version. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Or do you have two usernames? Is that what's going on? I don't think you have 2 usernames. Sorry, I'm not very tech savvy. But anyhow, so mainly I'm just advertising on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, you're on my kind of dinking around YouTube. This is a link to the actual correct YouTube, and I've also put a link in the YouTube, as well as at the end of the live stream. I think there's like a little video card that plays on the screen that says, you made it, welcome. And that takes you to the correct YouTube. So this is just kind of a dinking around YouTube I'm using to live stream because YouTube's being really particular for no reason. And then once I get to 50 subscribers on my author YouTube, I'll just be exclusively live streaming there, and then there'll be no confusion. I'll be on the correct one every time. But yeah, so the first book is just your regular old romantasy book. It's got vampires, it's got monsters, it's got power dynamics. Oh yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, you're showing up on the new one now. I don't know what you did differently on there, but it's popping up correctly now. So now you're on the chat that I can see, actually. Perfect. But yeah, so I have the first book. I wish I could show you guys a picture, but I literally gave my only proofed copy to the editor. And I'm working on making sure that that is perfect, because it just drives me nuts when people send out a book and like the margins are all wonky and stuff like that. Like, I can read it, but it bothers me, and maybe that's just the tism, maybe it's just fine for regular people, but it just drives me nuts. Like the font was like huge for some reason because I picked something other than Times New Roman, and I guess a lot of it's like calibrated for that. Oh, I see, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know what YouTube's deal is with that. I don't know why it doesn't combine the chat. It seems to me like it would combine the chat. And you should be able to see both of the things from both of those. I think I calibrated it right. But yeah, so this new book is kind of like a grungy, it's sort of like Great Gatsby meets Nana, if you guys are familiar with that anime manga series. And it's about two girls that are friends, and they have a falling out, and how the one girl kind of deals with that and kind of spirals into a bunch of sort of fatherless behaviors, which is pretty interesting to me to write about. That's something I experienced a lot in my earlier careers and stuff like that, so it's really interesting to finally have an outlet to kind of write about that. I'm sure I'll make I'm sure I'll make a lot more fatherless book novels, but this one's I think this one's the most PG-13 one I have planned. I think eventually maybe I'll write a stripper book if that becomes, you know, sort of more of a mainstream thing, but I just don't see showgirl type of literature being very popular. The last time I checked this gigantic library in Portland, there was like 1 or 2 books about strippers, so I just don't think that there's like an audience for that personally. But this one has musicians and drugs and girls making bad decisions, so that is the next book that's coming out. I'm also thinking of running a, speaking of doing a version 2 of this book, essentially, I'm thinking of running like an author sweepstakes or something like that, where artists draw the cover and then the best one gets like a $500 commission on that one, because I want to do kind of like a more minimalist cover thing, but I'm not really sure how to go about doing that yet. But that is something that I'm looking into, because I don't know, I think that the cover for it is just fine, but I'm not that creative when it comes to covers, clearly. And I think that artists would do probably a better job at that. So that is something I would like to do. If the book's more popular, I would do 2, 3, 4, 5 different covers of it. But contemporary fiction just doesn't seem to sell as well as romantasy. But I had to write the book because otherwise it wouldn't just get out of my head. So we've got, what did I say, 3.5 more chapters to finish this one out. The chapter that I'm working on right now is about a performer and her boyfriend being in an abusive relationship where he's her manager and he's kind of like manipulative and controlling, and that harkens back to a time where the main character is thinking of her friend. Oh yeah, well thank you. Yeah, I try to stay pretty true to like the characters and what they would do. The moment I finish this book, I'm going to take all of July off and just rot and be a NEET and play video games and read books. I also have, if you guys are interested, oh, I don't have the overlay in this one. Oh no, what have I done? Oh wait, no, I could just do an element that I've already done. I think it's a, 1 second. Excuse me, squirrel, are you trying to climb out of the window for real? Okay, I think it's an image. Here it is. Okay, so I also have a book club on Goodreads. You guys are welcome to join. It's totally free. And if you have any book suggestions, I will take book suggestions on that. But that's what we're doing for July. We're just gonna like vibe out and read books and play video games and just be toads. That's what we're gonna be doing. And so that's what's going on. And I think we have another self-published author that we're reading first. I can't remember which one ended up being in the queue first. It's either Jennifer Armentrout's Blood and Ash, because that was the number one response that I got back on the ARC reads for Bite, is it was very similar to that, and I'm curious about that. And then another author that I'm friends with on TikTok, she wrote a book. Let me just read a little bit of the description on that. She's so good at, one of the things that I wish I was better at was doing like the kind of like, I guess, TikTok marketing that these people do for their books, because it doesn't really interest me at all. I mostly just like writing the books. I don't really want to market them, and honestly, I just kind of give them away for free, which is probably not the best strategy, but she describes it as How to Train Your Dragon, but with wolves, romance, and girl rage. So I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty intriguing. It's got slow burn, fantasy, romance, feminine rage, he falls first, let him work for it, dual POV, fun and atmospheric. And her cover is super pretty. It's called Feed Me to the Wolves by D. Burns. And I'm pretty excited to read that. That's definitely gone into the book club. That's either going to be the first book or the second book, either way. And then what I'd like to do with the book club books is I'll make a video of my review of the book club books on the author YouTube. So make sure you're following the author YouTube if you want to hear my honest opinion of the books we're reading. Right now I'm kind of secretly reading a book by another author. I don't know if he's independently published or not, but it's about it's based in, I think it's feudal China. I'm terrible at history, so don't quote me on that. But it's based in like back in the day, like Ronin times, China. And it's a girl that is fleeing the pleasure districts with a legendary swordsman. And it's kind of giving Samurai Champloo vibes a little bit. I'm about a third of the way in the book. I like it so far, but I'll probably do a review on his as well. I'd like to do ARC reads for him, but I don't know if he'll let me do ARC reads if I'm not, like, a huge fan of the book. I'm not really sure how other authors feel about that, because, like, I mean, at least for myself, I don't really care if somebody gives me a 5-star review or not. I'm more interested in why they would give, like, a 3 out of 5 or a 2 out of 5 or a 1 out of 5 or whatever. I'm more interested on the why behind that than just having like tons of 5-star reviews. Because if there's an element of my book that I can improve on that showcases more nuance or makes the characters feel more lived in, I'm kind of more interested in that. But I don't really know if that's how other people feel about their works. Because in my experience, people don't really care to have very much criticism, but actually I don't know. I think I prefer criticism that can be worked on. It kind of makes like sort of my own rival of myself, if that makes sense. So if somebody says, "Oh, well, I don't really understand where you're going here," I'd be like, oh, "Okay," and then I can kind of like write as though I'm writing against myself and then improve the work, if that makes sense. So anyhow, we have the Bird Flock book cult. You guys are welcome to join that. I think I can probably just pop a link in there for you guys. Flock. Bird Flock Book Club. Share this. I think it's just that. I think that's how you find it. Cool. Yep, so if you guys want to be part of the book club, go ahead and go on there. I think my goal is to try and find books that are in all 3 different formats, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. That way you guys can all listen however you like. Because, for example, very rarely do I have any time to just sit with a physical book, although I really do enjoy that, especially if I'm traveling. But I tend to go more audiobook just so that I can listen to it while I'm out and about or while I'm driving. And then I also really like to, if I can, tandem read that with an ebook as well. So if possible, I'm going to try and make my books in the future, if I am able to do audiobooks on them. Again, not really sure how to do that process, but I'd like to do them in like a bundle where you get both of them or all 3 of them if you want. Because I think that that's probably the best way to enjoy that. Like, you should be able to purchase it separately, but I think if you buy it, you should get it in all 3. And I think that used to be a thing, didn't it? Like, maybe like 2010s or something like that. Maybe that's just because that's like sort of like when the ebook craze was going on. But I thought that you used to be able to get a paperback book and then like register that you own the paperback, and then you would get the ebook as well. Like, should anything happen to your like paperback book or whatever, you could still read your book because you own the right to read that book after purchasing it, you know. But yeah, so I think that that's probably a pretty good recap of what we've been up to. So let's get to turning our brains off a little bit and just sort of unboxing the room. How about? Oh no, I have to listen to people's opinions? Oh, my nightmare. Place dumpling and sashimi next to each other. I like it when they're together. Oh, what did you find out today? Tell me about it. These are not the final resting places for these books. I just want to... Oh, cute. Oh, it's a poster. I see. It's like, is this, okay. R-O-Y. That's crazy. Yeah, I have this theory that there used to be a lot less dumb people because life was so much more difficult, and life has become so easy by comparison that it's essentially created like an unusually large population of people that can't like tie their own shoes. Oh no, actually I want to put that in there and perhaps that there. What do you guys think about this room? I don't know, it feels a little too busy in this corner. I feel like maybe this should go here, like, oh, like they're getting ready to go to school. Yeah, so that they don't forget it. Like, that should be there. I think that that's, yeah, there we go. This is how I would probably set up my room. I think, yeah. Thank you. This is actually a lot more cathartic than I thought it was going to be. I was not prepared for this to be as fun. And this is just a demo. I love that they're doing more like demos. Is this like a box, or is this like a nightstand? Maybe this is a nightstand. Oh crap, did this person ask for something? Uh-oh. Oh no! Oh no, guys, I accidentally exited out. I thought it meant exit that. Oh no. Is it gonna save our progress? Oh, what have I done? What have I wrought? Story mode. Hey, so speaking of, it's giving me an option right here to use Discord over my games and stuff, so I'm gonna just like shoot you guys a Discord link as well. You guys can join the bird flock. We have a question of the day that I'm trying to set up right now. And, oh nice, Legion joined. Heck yeah. Excellent. Join the Discord. Where's my link to join the Discord? Invite people to the Discord. Join the Discord, then I can talk to you. And then, perfect. And then we'll go to stream chat, right? That'll be, you guys can yap at me directly from there. Was it this one? Shift tab, is that the Discord one? Settings, chat, overlay keys. What was the Discord? Does anybody know what the Discord overlay? How to do that for chat? It just asked me how to do that. One sec. Figure out how to do that real quick. Because then you guys can talk to me and it'll just show me while I'm gaming. Discord overlay hotkey. Shift and then a little squiggle. Shift squiggle? Heck yeah. Settings. Say hello to the new overlay. Excellent. Okay. Show text chat notifications. What? Okay. Voice. Show. Show window in game. Show. Okay. Okay. Boxes, don't worry, unpack them. Oh, okay. Okay, so she didn't have any instructions for me. Interesting. What's in here? Essential oils. Tiny panda. Alarm clock. Book. Plant. Well, I like the plants on the windows, but it doesn't appear that I can put it on the window there. Adorable kitty cat. Excellent. Wow. Okay, that is bordering on too many plushies. Better not be another plushie coming out of here. This seems like a two-pillow house. Is it not a two-pillow house? It's gonna make me look foolish. Are you in a Discord call? I don't think so. Did it put me in a call? Unmute. Deafen. Weird. Am I somewhere? Weird. Okay, now I can hear. Would it double up my voice if I have voice on here? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not totally sure how Discord works. Okay. Poster of space. Where did I put the other book? Book. Tissue box. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was a double pillow. There we go. No, I can't hear anything. Fuzzy slippers. Obviously go next to the bed. I like to put clocks near doors so then you know when you're supposed to leave the house. Okay. Yeah, but this is, first of all, obviously the kitty cat should go here. And then the penguin should go here. And then the teddy should go right there. Welcomingly so. Yeah, essential oils should go. Oh, so I can put things on this windowsill. It just won't let me put the plant there. Whoop. Okay, that goes there. Essential oils on the window. Plant here. I'm gonna put this here with the slippers. No, actually, this is gonna go right here. The slippers are gonna go right here. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Well, actually, this goes here, because then it'll get light from the window. And then this will go here. And that kind of like opens it up a little bit more. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Oh. Okay, well, I'm sure that was fine. Unpack the kitchen. This box contains the refrigerator. Yep. Fridge goes there. Mug. Mug. Yeah, I can't hear anything yet. Oh my gosh. Is that not where that goes? It's not gonna allow me to put fork, knife, spoon in the drawer. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Okay. Okay, so mayonnaise obviously goes in there. Mustard. Okay. Hot sauce. Where's that tomato? Tomato. Plant on the windowsill. Bowl. Bowl. Or do the bowl stack. The bowl stack. Toaster. Child's poster. Other thing. Crockery. Glass. 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 3 glasses? Insanity. 2 cups, 3 glasses. Kind of a sociopath. Designed this. Okay, so those go there. I guess that'll go like that. Insane. Close that. I guess there's nothing in the icebox. Weird. Okay, so 2 forks for some reason. So, fork and spoon, top drawer. Fork and knife, bottom drawer. Well, what if they have small children? I guess we'll have to put the spoon in the bottom drawer. Knife in the top drawer. I guess. And then the... What? The crockery does not go... Oh. Obviously the toaster goes here. Coffee goes here. Oh, it doesn't have Sims logic where it'll just move everything for you. Okay. Probably under the window then. This is like here-ish. Child's photo. Yeah. And then that. This kitchen is hellish. Kitchen is absolutely not the vibe. Oh, is this one of those insane households where you're supposed to put things in the stove to store them? I've never had so many roommates melt a cutting board as when the whole, like, store something in a stove business is going on. Okay, so that can go there, and I guess we'll just put that on there. I hate it, though. Oh, this kitchen is horrendous. But realistically, like, this door should swing elsewise, because when you're coming through there, this, like, would just hit you in the face. Unless it's, like, burglar-proof. If you're trying to burglar-proof. Are any of these... horrendous kitchen. Hate it. 0 out of 10. So that's a towel. Towel. Soap. Rubber ducky. That's that. toothbrush, shower loofah. Okay, so this is just going to be several things of nonsense. Is this what that's going to be? This better be more furniture. Okay. Towel. Towel. Technically this should go over here, but fine. The bin, I guess, should go... How does the bin open? Oh my gosh. Ah, this is the worst. So I assume it's meaning for me to put those things in here. This is probably soap for hands. We're presuming that this is just a clean bathroom. So, it can fit 2 of these? Oh, okay. Okay, so those can go in the first drawer. These can go over here, even though this is the worst. It's terrible. Maybe this game isn't going to be a stress reliever, guys. You can fit 2 towels. Okay. Well then, we're going to color code the towels with what's up here, so that'll be up there. So realistically, these should go on the bottom. Because of the likelihood that they would spill. So these would go up. Oh my god, did it put it on the... And see, you wouldn't store these. You wouldn't store those there because then they would get wet. I don't think an autistic person made this game, you guys. Like, if I had to take a guess, I think probably one of the norms. Are you kidding me right now? Fine. I'll put them in that way. But just know I hate it. Yeah, I guess that's how you do it. Terrible. Next. Two rooms at once. As soon as you're done furnishing one room, move on to the next. Keep in mind objects can be moved from room to room if necessary. Okay. I assume that this is a computer. This is the penguin again. That looks like a black-capped chickadee. I assume that's some sort of work business. Oh, nice. Chair. Maybe those are snacks. I don't think so. What are those? Book. Book. Why the... It seems as though we need... Oh, is that a pillow, maybe? Important to stay hydrated. Or are those binoculars? Oh, I see. An end table. First of all, I think this should be like this instead. What is with all of these plushies? Duck. Hi, squirrel. Squirrel. So, I think we should put the waterfowl over here. And then the... Okay. Squirrel. Oh, this guy is real big on birds, you do. Okay, so it's gonna go there. Yeah, this doesn't really belong there. Probably put the cactus there. Put this lamp right here. And his alarm clock doesn't fit with the lamp. Well, that lamp is pretty well useless then. This is the biggest alarm clock I've ever seen in my life. Literally nothing else can fit over there. Okay. Okay, so we have like a little base... Squirrel. 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 Okay. Maybe put that there, I guess. This is preposterous. Now let's see, this is a corvid, probably should go there. There we go. Now is there anything that can be improved here? I have no idea what that is. Yes, you're very nice. Well, let's maybe put the corvid right here. It's a good place for it. And then that frees this up a little bit to do this. There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, you're helping, squirrel. Very helpful. Oh, you're so helpful, squirrel. Yeah, you're so helpful. Squirrel, are you aware that you're a bit of a toad? You're a bit of a lazy toad. Note that some objects are in moving chart, including furniture. Oh, so it's just gonna give me random things. Yes? Ah, I see. Squirrel, careful, you'll slide off. Do, 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 do. no idea what that is. Some sort of chalk. Again, I assume those are pillows of some nature. Shirts. It won't let me put that in there, but it will let me put that in there. Weird. Is there any more furniture? Okay. So this is all we're working with furniture-wise. Is this a box? Nope, that's just an end table. Pig. Cat. No, the cat should always be on the couch. Wow, kind of an awful lot of things going on in this. Is that a Roomba? I think that's a Roomba. Oh, we do love a plant in the window. Double window plant. So this goes here. Is it open at all? Okay, so the Roomba lives here. These books live there. Roomba actually lives in the corner. Look out here. Backpack here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much good. There's nowhere for this excess of plushies to go. I wish there was like a shelf right here. That'd be perfect. Oh, my legs are so sore. I just got back into doing my squats and stuff. I am slowly but surely working back through physical therapy to not be weak as shit all the time. Is there a pet? Is there a pet in this? Absurd plant.
Hello, hello. You're arranging furniture. Is it trying to... Oh, no, you know what? I'm gonna take this, and put it in there. Up there. Okay, so that's good. And then no, because we want to have that in the corner, that there, this here. Okay. No, that's not quite it. Too bad you can't like 3/4 turn this chair. I think that'd be better.
I like the lucky cat. I have a lot of purple in this room, not a real big fan of that. Okay. Oh my gosh, I forgot there were two. Oops. Forgot there were two rooms. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal is with Discord. I'm probably gonna just, disconnect from Discord, because, I mean, you guys are streaming anyway. Is that soap or something? I'm doing pretty good. Low energy day. I got a lot of writing done. I think that's shampoo and conditioner. And then those will go. In there. Aha, I think we did it. I think we did it, you guys. Okay, back to the original. Yeah, I think that's everything. This is kind of cluttery, but they kind of almost need more. Oh, hold on. Will it let me put those in there? So that's slightly better. Really, it'll only put that. I have no idea what that is. But yeah, I think that's pretty well all we're gonna get on that one. Today's been pretty good. I'm super low energy though, so I figured we'd do something that is a little bit more stimulating than just watching me zone out. Dun, dun. And to wish us. That was actually pretty fun. Now I want to show you guys a different, it's kind of like a Sudoku thing that I stumbled upon the other day. This is also a demo version. Yeah, hi squirrel. Squeak Ross demo. So you get to make a little mouse, and then you basically squirrel. You can't just be behind me. Come here. You can't just be behind me. Come here. Do you want to play the mouse game with mommy? Yeah. Okay. So this is like this is a little room. So you start off, and you have not that one. So you start off, and you're unlocking these little furniture items, and then the second part of it is that you unlock different color palettes for these furniture items. So like, let's do the chair. So the demo has quite a bit of stuff. So this is gonna have 5 things. And this is gonna have 2. Five things. That's gonna have 2. Kind of like that, basically. Except I don't think that those are correct. Okay. 7. Okay, so that one's done. Six. Is that going to show me what that is? Oh, tab. Oh, so this game is basically like kind of Sudoku, sort of. So, you're trying to extrapolate from these numbers where there would be cheeses. So basically it would be like, so the bottom screen, right, the very, very bottom, it has a 2 and a 5, so it means that there's a grouping of 2 and then a grouping of 5, and that's all that's on that line. And then at the top, the corresponding things will tell you, like, for example, in the first one, it says there's a 2 and then a 3. So there's a grouping of 2 and then there's a grouping of 3. And you're trying to extrapolate from those two different numbers in the grid what's full and what's not. Kind of like, I think it's kind of like Minesweeper, but there's no mines, pretty much. And then when you're finished, it gives you either a furniture item or a or like a color variant on the furniture item. I think I unlocked all of the furniture items in the demo, so this one's just gonna do, yeah, kind of like that. There's the demo. Weird. I think somehow I got my YouTube disconnected from chat. Streamlabs is really dropping the ball on, like, chat, essentially. 2, 3. And it'll give you errors at the top if you've done it wrong. So, like... One, 2, 3. So I was right on that one. And then you fill out the, there we go. So that's a completed one. It kind of takes some problem solving to get through, I'm not gonna lie. The bigger the puzzle, the more difficult it is. Like, this one's gonna be a real bitch. Right. And the demo is free, so if you're inclined to these sorts of puzzle games, I highly recommend it. Plus, you get to design this adorable little mouse. And then, like, let's exit out of this. Escape. Yes. Let's go back to, house. So, when you complete the puzzle, you get these little furniture items, so now we can change the color of this. So you can cycle through the colors, so now this is a different colored chair. Right? Make it a green chair for now. But yeah, you can cycle through rug mode. Not sure what rug mode is yet. But you can interact with stuff. So the little mouse will do things. But look how cute the little mouse is. You get to name your little mouse. right? It's so cute. And you can, they made like, see, this is Miso. This is a little mouse that I made. And you can give it little hats. You win little hats. You can make Ratatouille if you want. You can make a more, you can make a crazier looking mouse, but I chose to do cute little mouse. See? Cute little mouse. Right? And honestly, like, I wouldn't say it's like nearly as frustrating of a puzzle game as I initially anticipated it being. But like, these bigger puzzles are definitely a thinker. Yeah, super cute. Okay, so for example, like this one is 6 and 6, so there's a 15 width here. It's possible that this is a 4 and this is a 3. Like, it's possible that this is how that goes. And then that would make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then something like that, right? Who knows? But then this has a 3, so you would assume that maybe something like that. This only has 1, so it's probably here. 2, 3. Nope, it's not there. So 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably. And then there's no more here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that one's probably done. 1. It's not that. So then that's probably there. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's done. No, you can do that. So, like, I did that with a couple of them. So you're going, like, you can do an additional, or you can do a subtraction. There's not, like, an amount of moves you can do. Maybe in the paid version there's an amount of moves you can do, but I wouldn't imagine that that would be the case. So you're filling it in, and then something like that. There's probably not that. So, like, here, you do one. Like, which one should we remove? Let's do, like, battleship. You know, so this will be 1, and then that'll be 15, so they're in 5s, and then this is 5 and 10. First column? Yeah, because it's just a single, it's just a 1, right? So which one do you think it is? So it'd be 1 through 10. Like, which one do you think it is? Maybe I can make this windowed. Sure. Start from the left corner. Left corner is either 6 or 7. What? Yeah, so the row would be 15 and then the column would be 10. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because each of these is, I think, a 5 by 5 cube. Put a 7 blank cheese and leave 1 block empty, and then a 6 cheese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Oh, it might be 1 more cheese. But then that would be the only one. Like if that was the one. Which maybe that's the case. Also, you can solve random, have a logic assist, or it shows you all your mistakes. So if you did an all cheese, it would just show you the ones that were wrong. But let's not do that. Let's do solve random. So that one's empty, for sure. Certainly. Three, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's 15 divided by 2? That's like 7. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2. 6. 'Sort of gotta be there, right? Oh no, I think it'll be fine. We just gotta figure out where this 1 is, right? So it's definitely not there, I don't think, because I think that's where it's at. 2, 3. So for sure, there's something here. Okay, so that's figured. Two. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably nothing there. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Probably that. Oh wait, that was the one that was for sure fixed. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that was probably done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's a problem. 1, 2, 3. Nothing there. 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, they put a lot of work into it. Let's solve another random. Okay, so there's definitely nothing there. 1, 2. Hmm. 2. 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6, 1, 2. Okay, but this one is wrong somewhere. Right, halfway there. So what if it was this one? Not this. Yes, this. No, because that's there. So it's not that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing. Something. 3, 4, 5. Nothing. Okay. 2. Nothing. Nothing. Yay, we did it! We did it. So now we can make a cardboard box into anything we want. Crazy. So I guess the easiest one would be this one, so probably not here, but all here. And then probably both there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nothing. Probably something there. Don't know about here or not. Not unsure. That one's probably blasted that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could be here. Okay. Oh wait, I do have to care about this. Do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe that's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, nothing. 2, 3. 2. Oh, I see. 1, 2, so 3, 6, 7 out of 10. Which means there'll be 3 empties. So 1, 2, 3. Nothing. 2, nothing. 1. So that has to be how that goes because it's the only amount that can be there. So that's for certain correct. Which means that this is 2, 3. Which means that must be that way. Which is also impossible. One, 2, 3. Let me see. No, but it does make a little noise. Okay. 3, 4, 6. Probably not there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there we go. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Gotta figure out this one. Random. Hopefully it's down here somewhere. Okay. So that's probably the 3. 1, 2. Nothing. 1. Not there. Maybe 1. Right there. Two, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so for sure this is 1. For sure that's not 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it here instead. Yeah, that appears to solve the problem. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Probably not that. Maybe it's that. No, it's not that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Has to be there. 3. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing there. Do the numbers get strict if the arrangement is correct, or if you just need the division? You can do cheese, nothing, or X. You do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nothing there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nothing. 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't be there. Has to be there. Can't be there then. Must be there. Might not be there. Okay. Definitely not there, so maybe there's one there. Three. 1, 2. 291. 2. Nothing. 1, 3. 4. Yay, we did it! It's all about the logic puzzles. So then let's try that on. You can also just infinitely do them. And it gives you like little info cards, which is kind of cute. So like the creator of it gives you little messages that you can read about it. And then it gives you little facts about rats and stuff, which is awesome. And then it has like a villain character called Trusty the Rat, and it sends you spam emails, which I think is kind of cute. So let's give it a little hat, or no, it's an accessory. You give it a little accessory, right? You can change the color of it into different seeds. I think there's only 2 seed alteration for that. Hypermelistic and regular seed. So you can put a little seed on its nose. You can give it a random. So far I have this. And like the little Ratatouille hat and stuff, but I think I'm quite fond of just the cute little sweater, or the little scarf, just like kind of a neutral tone scarf. Such a cute little animal. Yes, hi squirrel. Hi squirrel. Do you hear me playing the mouse game? Yeah, you like the mouse game? Yeah. My favorite rat fact is that you can teach them to pull little wagons. I think that's pretty cute. They're pretty intelligent compared to, say, like mice. So you can teach them things. They like to be tickled. Yeah, the scarf is probably, so far, the scarf is my favorite. I learned kind of a lot of facts about rats specifically because of, there's like a Jordan Peterson lecture that I reference a lot about rats, and it's about larger and smaller rats and their play dynamic. And basically is that, basically the difference in size means that if the larger rat doesn't let the smaller rat win in their little wrestling games at least 30% of the time, then the little rat will stop playing with it. So it's an important behavioral note that if you have a distinct advantage at something and you want to be well received, if you don't allow for some element of like kind of like I guess a handicap in like golf or whatever for that person playing with you, then they won't play with you. So if you're like kind of a dork know-it-all and you're playing trivia and stuff like that, if you like insist on winning and being right all the time, people won't want to play with you, which you can observe even down to like, you know, an intelligent rodent species. I mean, we've even noticed that in our cats. So for example, when our cats were very small, I have 3 sets of twins, essentially. I don't know how it ended up working out that way, but it did. So the 2 orange boys, there is a larger, longer boy, and his name is Fatty, and his brother, that was not intentional. It just kind of is the name that stuck. Yeah, I think it's similar to the Rat Utopia one, but it's more so about play dynamics. It might have been in the same lecture as the Rat Utopia one. But I sent that into a bunch of game devs because I was like, hey, this is part of the reason why League of Legends is kind of ass. Because if I'm not winning at least 30% of my games, I will just rage quit, and that's just kind of like the threshold for human tolerance for losses. I mean, just like by and large, like if you have to pick a number, that's probably a good one to pick. So anyway, circling back to cats and rats. So our cats, we have a small calico, and that's Squirrel, and we have a small orange and cream boy. And if my larger orange and cream boy wants to play with either of his smaller siblings, he has to let them win at least a third of the time or they won't play with him. And his sister's quite competitive and she wants to win every time. And so they don't play very well because he wants to best her and she refuses to lose. So he doesn't really want to play with her, and so their brother ends up being kind of like the catchweight, where he will play with his smaller sister and his larger brother because he just wants to play in general. He doesn't care if he wins, loses, or draws, he just wants to play. And so he is behaviorally more valuable in a play setting because he doesn't care if he wins or loses, he just wants to play. Whereas the larger orange boy, if he doesn't win at least 50% of the time, roughly, he gets his feelings hurt and then stomps away. And the smaller female, if she doesn't win, she actually will act like she's hurt so that her brother gets disciplined. Typical little sister behavior. She'll just be like, ow, he's hurting me, he bit me. And then we'll break them up and be like, hey, that's not very nice, be nice to your sister. And so then he's also having a negative time doing that. Whereas when he plays with his smaller brother, he knows to not... Yeah, I know, I didn't intend for them to be, twins, and I didn't intend to have quite so many of them. But I can, so I will. So, basically, A, B, and C. So, like, Cat A is quite large, Cat C is quite small, Cat B is in the middle, and he is the best player. So he can play with A and C. I should just, honestly, a lot of these kinds of things would be solved if I just had like a great big whiteboard. That's in the workings in the future. In my office, I will have a great big whiteboard, and on one side it will be all of the book stuff in kind of like a crime lab, like a crime board dynamic, so you guys can see all of the plots. And then on the other side will be me explaining abstract concepts so that you guys can follow along the TISM train, and then that's how we'll do it. But basically, the long and short of it is if the cats aren't willing to lose so that the person, or rather the cat that they're playing with, can win, then they're less desirable as a playmate. And so, for example, our gray tabby, she doesn't want to lose or play at all, so no one wants to play with her, and she just lounges around and is essentially kind of like a grandma cat. So she's relegated herself off to just being by herself, and no one plays with her because she doesn't play fair and she's kind of a mean little bully. But she does play with her twin, who also does not want to play at all, but it's also probably a larger commentary on personalities and why some of them are regarded as antisocial, you know? Like, I think type A personalities don't like to lose, so they're probably less desirable in, say, like, an academic situation or, like, an athletic situation, because they're very, yes, I thought it was so cute. At one point when we were moving, we had, like, essentially, like, March Madness style bracket of the cats, and we gave them points based on the traits that we found desirable. And it ended up, we ended up with one of each of the twins. And so then the other 3 twins we sent to my grandmother's house or I guess my grandmother-in-law, it's the family tree is odd. So they went back to essentially their ancestral home because originally we were just going to foster them. But then it just like, I just couldn't do it. Like the whole like twins not being together bit. So then we ended up moving out here. And now, if you can see, I've literally just got the twins just twinning. And they're essentially just like joined at the hip. They always have to lay together. They always have to be together. I really felt like the Wicked Witch separating those two because you know it's crazy. I think that the chicks in my chicken coop that hatch out of the same nest, they click together. These cats are twins. They are stuck together. There's something developmentally. Oh yeah, they're so cute. They're basically just like sort of orange creamsicle classic tabbies. I won't get too into cat colorations because when I was doing vet tech business, hold on, I've got an oddity in Twitch. Where's it at? There we go. So, when I was doing vet tech stuff, I got really into like coat patterns and stuff like that because I have this like probably insane theory that at one point the vet's office is just going to be in total pandemonium and all of the cages will be opened at some point and there will be several orange cats on the loose. So I really took, like when I was doing the intake forms, I would get like really crazy meticulous. Like I would write it up like probably like a prison intake form where it's just like they have a marking on their neck and on their left clavicle and they have like a little like spot that looks like a starfish or whatever on their right shoulder because I was like very certain that at some point we would have two cats that were like near identical. And at the time we didn't have like a photo thing on their intake chart. I'm sure that that's been remedied because it's been like a decade hence. But I was certain that we were going to end up with like a room full of orange cats and then they would be sent to the wrong place. It's probably because I read, or rather, I watched Spirited Away when I was a kid, and that movie really resonated with me in like a bad way. I love the movie, it's very great, but I'm constantly like, oh no, what if there's like a changeling situation and like I don't know enough about this animal to like differentiate if it's like a real or a falsification or not. I don't know, it's probably like early onset schizophrenia or something, who knows, but I've always been very, very meticulous about cataloging like the animals, or if I was like nannying or whatever, I'd be like, this is absolutely what this like child looks like so that I could put it in like, if someone goes missing or whatever, I could be like, this is the deal, you know, which is crazy because I think if you asked me what color shirt I wore today, I don't think I'd be able to tell you. So maybe it's just like me filling the gaps in like my ADHD brain with probably ultimately useless information, but eventually on the homestead, I will have a binder of each animal and like their eccentricities and their coat patterns so that maybe, I don't know, in the future, if I can clone something, then like I could clone it down to like the exact replica. Like if I could have 10 of these, do you think I wouldn't have 10 of these? She's amazing. She's so great. She's such a weird cat though. Like of the thousands of cats that I've like raised over my lifetime so far, I did used to do TNR. I promise I'm not entirely crazy, but she acts way more like a person that's been cursed by a witch than an actual cat. Like she chooses things. I feel like very certain if I'd got those like buttons that you can program words into, she would be able to speak full complete sentences. Which I've never gotten that vibe from a cat in my entire life. Like, don't get me wrong, I love cats, but like it's a cat. Like, I wouldn't expect a cat to have like a parrot's level of speech, but I very much believe that if I gave this cat access to like a Stephen Hawking level speech board, I think she would be able to talk like that, which is nuts. Her brothers are definitely not on that level. They're sweet, wonderful cats, but they have like a 5-word vocabulary, like at best. I mean, to be fair though, they're orange and they're sharing the brain cell, so. Oh, come on, don't look at me like that. I'm not even disparaging you. I'm talking you up, honestly. And because we have twin cats, they've each chosen a person. So, like, the one cat is obsessed with my partner, and the other cat is obsessed with me, which I love because he's like my little chore buddy. He goes out and he, like, collects the eggs with me at the chicken coop, and he's just, like, my little go-to, like, outside buddy. I think part of that is because our dog, like, sort of raised him, rest in peace. So he's kind of like a puppy cat, and he just like wants to go and do, and he's partially arboreal, so sometimes he'll just like be up in a tree near what I'm doing, which is kind of nice to have that kind of like aerial lookout. Very sweet of him. And his brother, I need to make a skit of these two, which is like, are you guys familiar with the brother, may I have some oats? Because that is absolutely these two. His brother, my shorter, like, stockier orange cat, he is the most food-motivated cat. Yes, he's such a good kitty. Like, for example, this is probably TMI, but at one point he was doing a bunch of DMT. So pretty much when cats eat, like, the, you know, of a rodent, it essentially puts them in, like, a, like, psychedelic state, pretty much. And yeah, and so he was doing that, and then he like dropped weight, and I was like, what are you doing? You can't drop a weight class. Like, your brother's a catch weight, like you guys can just play anyway. And it turns out that he had contracted the forbidden butt rice, and I was like, oh, that's not great. And I take him into the handsome vet, and he's like, oh, he's such a cute little outside kitty. And I was like, oh, that's great. But I don't want him to be an outside kitty. I want him to be a spoiled inside kitty that occasionally ventures outside. And yes. So I've since got him like an industrial size thing of the medicine that would counteract the negative effects of his rodent-based psychedelics. And he still has like, he's like such a finicky cat already. He's like if I put all of my like bed-rotting traits into a cat, unfortunately. And so they were like, oh, well, we might need to do like, oh yeah, that guy's awesome. So essentially the vet asked me, they say, do you have like a fecal, like do you have that? So traditionally in like veterinary medicine, you don't just treat for parasites, you do like testing to see like what parasites are in like your blood or your urine or your, you know, whatever. And because he was raised by the dog, I don't know if they had some weird like conversation while my elderly dog was like passing the torch or whatever, but he like does not use a litter box and insists in fact on like using the area in like the horse pen. So like I couldn't get a fecal on this cat if I tried because it's 1000% contaminated from like horses. So he would look like some feline equine hybrid, which I think would be kind of interesting to look under a microscope, but I think would be very confusing for the lab tech. So and that's the only cat that does it. He's the only one that does it. Everybody else is a normal cat. Okay, well, mostly all of them are normal cats. But Squirrel's odd. Squirrel, I think that she would probably use like a human toilet if I gave her the option, which I don't. I very much everyday fear that I'm gonna walk in there and she's just gonna be using it like, oh, there was some 90s movie where somebody did that. Does anybody remember what that was? No, pretty much. So like my dog, he was interesting in the fact that I literally had him, I like found him in the desert, and then he became like my best friend, and I took him everywhere with me. So this dog had like parameters that I don't think like a regular backyard dog would have, because he was like a travel dog, and also he was like a herding breed. So I think I think it'd be kind of cool if they did that, but I worry every day that I'm gonna go in there and she's just gonna be doing it herself, which is crazy. So anyway, I take this dog and I raise him, and he's fantastic and amazing. But he has this peculiarity where he like will only do his business in like what he deems to be like weeds or like tall grass and stuff like that, because he knows that like a lawn is for recreational purposes, not for like using the facilities in, which I'm like, okay, whatever. I did not train him to do that, because I grew up on a farm and I was doing like a lot of farm management stuff at the time when he was growing up. And so I would like turn to see him, and then he would just be in the middle of a field like doing his business, because he's like, oh, like God forbid he be like near a yard, which was kind of cool because my landlord at the time was like, somebody's dog is using the lawn, and I was like, I can tell you with 100% certainty that it's not my dog. Just don't ask me to explain that, because it's weird. Like, I don't know why he would choose to do that, but he was 100% the best dog ever. I don't ever think that I'm gonna have a dog that's gonna like probably compete with him, unless it was like, I don't know, some like Ivy League like livestock guardian dog or something, because like that dog literally came from nothing and became the best dog ever. I'm gonna get like kind of emotional about it. He was a great dog. I miss him a lot. He was a good boy. You know, having a good dog really makes you appreciate them for them, because I've had kind of like meh dogs before, and it really is, I think, based on personality. Like, you can train a dog as much as you want, but it's like sort of the starter build of what you get for a dog. Because like my family used to have hunting dogs, and like they're such spazzes. I was never a big fan of hunting dogs, but a good like working herding dog, 10 out of 10. But yeah, he trained the cats super weird. That dog was so good. He could find a cat like nobody's business, and not like for nefarious purposes. He just knew that I liked them. So at one point I was, there's a thing that you do in the country where you set like traps for rodents because they eat your crops and stuff like that, and then you can turn around and like repurpose their their tiny rodent whatevers to like other things, like, you know, you can feed like local wildlife or whatever that would have consumed them anyway. Although that does usually end up in your trap being stolen and drug off into the wilderness, which happened to me on a couple occasions. And that dog was super good at preventing that. He was just like the best boy ever. It turns out he was secretly fighting this like one-man war against all of these gophers, and then like the moment that he was laid to rest, there's just like an army of like gophers that like just like took over this one hillside. It was insane, which can lead, I think, to erosion, so not the best. But just the fact that he was like punching in every day to do something like that, like what an awesome dog. So yeah, he was fantastic. Great dog. 10 out of 10. But we were walking to like empty my catch of the day and feed this like army of barn cats that I have, which one day I will have another army of barn cats. 10 out of 10, highly recommend it. Get like a good like dozen barn cats. Yeah, he was fantastic. Honestly, I'm gonna erect like a huge like headstone at our like final like homestead place. And it's gonna have like a beautiful like maybe apricot tree or something like that atop of it. He's got like total place of honor. Best dog. So we're like, you know, emptying the catch of the day, and I'm like handing out gophers to these barn cats because they need more protein, right? And I'm like routine deworming them anyway, so it's like whatever. Which gets expensive, but like honestly worth it to not have like 10,000 rodents like sneaking into your shop to like, you know, I do value rodents for what they do, but as far as a prey class goes, like huge pain. And luckily we live in a region where there aren't rats, so I don't have to feel as bad about like helping along nature essentially. So these rodents will like get into like wiring in vehicles and like tractors and stuff like that and like eat the wiring, and they'll like they're like not hygienic. Outside mice, inside mice super cute, outside mice pestilence, terrible. I mean, I think Australia has a problem with rats, not mice, but it causes tons and tons of problems and damage. I would much rather have a bunch of rabbits than a bunch of, like, mice, specifically. Yeah, oh, don't make the mouse sad. But anyway, I'm getting, for sure, here. Yeah, that's probably good. Doo-doo. Yeah, that's probably a trick. Pew. So I'm giving these rodents away to the barn cats and stuff. And all of a sudden, my dog just, like, sits next to this wood pile. And I'm like, buddy, what are you doing? Like, we've got business to attend to. Like, we have the rations to distribute to the outside kitties. And he just, like, will not move not an inch forward. And I'm just like, okay, you're being ridiculous. And he's looking at me like, no, you're being ridiculous. Like, this is silliness. And I start removing logs. And I'm like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Are you just, like, trying to trick me into doing, like, double the manual labor today? Like, what's happening? And I reach in, probably fourth or fifth log, I'm looking at the dog like he's insane, and he's looking at me like I'm similarly insane. And I lift up one more log out of this fire, like, bin thing, and there's just this little black tuxedo kitten, and it just looks up at me, and it doesn't even hiss at me, because it's like, it has no idea how I found this spot. But my dog was amazing. And I pick this kitten up, and he looks at me, and he immediately has this look of disappointment, like, ah, damn, I did my job too good. She's gonna keep this cat. And I was like, you're absolutely correct. I'm going to keep this cat. But instead, I just fostered that cat, and I think one of my cousins ended up adopting it. They named it Jack in the Box because it came out of, like, the wood pile. And just 10 out of 10 good dog. I'm sure he would have, if he was an anthropomorphized person or something, he would probably have tons and tons of stories of me just massively disappointing him with my chosen activities. Like, we were laying sprinkler pipe one time, and it comes in these, like, huge, like, I think, like, 10-inch, I think they're 10-inch, 10, 12, huge pieces of pipe. They're called mainline, and so it's, like, the main pipe that, you get all of your water for to, like, water your crops, and then you attach these, like, much smaller in diameter sprinkler pipes too. And initially, when you store those outdoors, burrowing animals will, like, make a nest of them because they're like, oh, this is a tube, right? So if you're, like, into like watching people do, like, farmed rabbits or whatever, sometimes they'll make, like, little PVC, like, tunnels into, like, I think I've seen them do, like, PVC tunnels into, like, plastic totes or whatever to, like, make a den for the rabbits. And so similarly, these rabbits would, like, get into the main line or whatever. But I'm an animal lover, so I was just like, okay, well, let's, like, humanely flush these animals out of here so that they can, like, not be in there, but also not get, like, just annihilated by this, like, 80 psi water that's gonna come here. So I would, like, turn it on just a little bit, which everybody would be like, that's crazy. Like, just leave the end off and they'll just get, like water parked out of there, essentially. But, like, I would imagine that's quite traumatic. So I'm sitting at the end of this pipe, like, just ready to, like, goalie catch whatever comes out of there. And this huge, like, has seen, like, death and the beginning of the universe jackrabbit pops out. I do a quick scan of life. No bueno. It's clearly, like, not done well in that pipe. And I'm like, okay, well, that's unfortunate. Somebody's probably, like stashed this in here as, like, a late night snack later. So unfortunate. So I put him to the side. And then coming shooting out there is this, like, absolutely drenched rat creature. And I'm like, oh, God, that's terrible. But I feel signs of life. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, like, bring this thing back to life. I've got, like, all of my, like, animal first aid or whatever from doing like vet tech stuff. So I'm like, okay, like I'll bring this creature back to life. Turns out, cottontail bunny, adorable, sweet, like picturesque tiny rabbit, looks disgusting when they're completely like, right? Well, I mean, like wild critters gotta eat too, you know, circle of life, all that. And so like, I don't think anything should suffer, but at the same time, like, I think that things happen for a reason, and there's a reason that we have like 10 billion rodents on the planet, as opposed to like, you know, more bipedal things, you know what I mean? Like, there's clearly like an equilibrium that certain things are in for what reason or whatever, but I won't bore you with that. So I like bring this cottontail back from like the near death, and I wrap it in my hoodie, and my dog comes trotting along, and he's like, God damn it, not again. And he was so mad that I'd taken like what he would describe as one of his mortal enemies, which is either a rodent or a bird. Hates birds. Hilarious, right? And he's just not a big fan of birds. If there's not a Y in that, he's not a fan. And so he nearly annihilated himself trying to chase this one big bird. So that was like a fun veterinary trip. Because he actually like got caught in some stuff, and he was just like, I almost got the bird though, and I was like, that's crazy. So I bring this rabbit back to life, and I didn't know at the time because I'd never caught a wild rabbit before, or really had any rabbit in distress at all. I'm putting it in like a dark place to like have it slowly come out of like essentially shock, because it's been like cannon shot out of a pipe, and I'm like, oh, this poor creature, and I'm like making sure that it's like, you know, it's clearly in shock, but it doesn't have, like, it's not emaciated, it's not any of these other things that I worry about. It's plenty hydrated. So I was like, okay, it just needs, like, a cool place that it can, like, quietly, like, acclimate back into light and all of that, and then it'll groom itself, and then if it's looking alert and good and stuff, then I can release it back into the wild. And then I tried to release it back into the wild, and it made a sound that rabbits make, which mimicked like a child, which was horrifying. Didn't know they made that noise when you picked it up, because I'd only ever like held like regular bunnies before, and I was like, that's insane. But then eventually I let Susan, the cottontail, go back outside, and she lived in our woodpile for like years, and it was great. And the dog would like side-eye her and be like, Susan, and it was hilarious. But the dog was not a fan of me doing like any kind of wildlife rescue or any kind of, I mean, he didn't mind fostering, because I did foster a number of kittens over the course of years and stuff like that. He was definitely more of a fan of the ones that came from the shelter than the ones that were feral barn cats that I was taming and rehoming while I spayed and neutered the entirety of their colonies. He's definitely more of a fan of those, because they like just start out nicer than feral cats. Feral cats bite and hiss. And luckily I still have all of my fingers. It was not a Wendigo, although I was so certain there was a Wendigo out here the other day. I actually had, I have a whole Substack about it, because I was worried that there was a Wendigo, because my rooster tried to murder himself, and it was, I think it was in October too. It was just terrifying. I'll find a link to that. Where are we at with? But it's spooky out in the Pacific Northwest. I'll tell you that. Substack. Yeah, I'll make it so you don't. Whoop. Substack. Profile. Posts. Wolfmoon. Ah, found it. Yoink. I'm getting better at searching stuff up, you guys. You guys are teaching me. Okay, so here is that, if you're interested in Wendigos. Although I don't think there's technically, I don't live in Appalachia, so I don't think Wendigos are technically like a native story to over here. I think over here is just Bigfoot. I think that's the thing over here. Which I think, oh, if I can remember, there's also a book. I think it's just called Monster. I'm probably not going to be able to find it. Ooh, did I find it immediately? Oh, nice, nice. Let me find the Goodreads for it. Hell yeah. So if you're into, like, monster stuff like that, I read this book. It was actually pretty good. I think the premise of it is, like, it's Christian fiction, but I didn't really get too much of a vibe off of that. It's like a monster mystery horror thriller, and it's based in Idaho. So where's it at? Okay. So if you want like a spooky read about Bigfoot stuff, there you go. Enjoy that book. It was a real page turner. That one I got recommended by a very sweet old lady. I can't imagine what she was doing reading that, but nevertheless. I should probably add that to my Goodreads, that I did in fact read that. I'm trying to catalog completely all of the books that I've ever read, which is probably also pretty autistic coded. But when I was young, very much younger than I am now, they used to, when you were teaching like children to read and stuff, they used to give you a packet of all of the books that were available to you. And it was like, I think it might have even been some sort of like program or something. I don't know, maybe this is just like rural education stuff. But they'd give you a packet and it was like author, title, reading level or whatever. And I had a goal when I was just a wee one that I was going to read through every book on that list. And then when you would finish reading the book, you would go on the computer and you would take a quiz to like prove that you'd read the book. And a couple of times I tried to cheat and just take the quiz without having read the book, because I was like, I'm super smart. I could probably discern the plot devices and hop on pop. And it turns out that I could not, because I was in, what would that have been? 2nd grade, and I was trying to extrapolate Dr. Seuss, out of the ether with a 2nd grader's brain, which was, I could totally do it now. I could be like, yeah, I absolutely know exactly the rhyme syntax of this book. Like, of course I read that book. But yeah, that might be just more autistic childhood moments. Okay, so let's get back to this. Probably enough fun times in Autist Land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Probably nothing there. Oh, 8 plus 6. That's 14. Okay, so definitely something there, not there. 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing. 3. Okay, so that's how that's gotta go. Probably that's good. Not that one. Probably there. That's good. Oh, not there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably nothing there. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. That's probably good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. 4, 5, 6. Nothing. Wait, how do you play this game? Oh, this game is basically like Sudoku and Minesweeper. So each of the cheeses is a filled square, and each of the X's is an unfilled square. And you're going off of, so this is a 15 grid, so the top one is 13. So within that row, there will be 13 cheeses uninterrupted. And because it's a 15 cube row, there will be 2 omitted. And so you're trying to essentially like reverse engineer where all of the pieces go. So it's kind of like a number-based puzzle. You can play it a number of different ways. It doesn't appear to punish you either way. You could make it all X's and then reverse engineer it that way, or you could make it all cheeses and reverse engineer it that way, although I don't recommend it. That was really hard when we did it last time. But I just kind of try and like do my best at the patterns that it has so far. So for example, the row 4th from the bottom, it can only be one way, pretty much. So there's going to be 3 empty spaces. So you're just trying to extrapolate sort of with the way that the top row lines up with those middle pieces that you're unsure of, how those will sort of work out, either filled or with either with cheese or with not cheese. And then when you complete this, it also does like a little bit of a pictograph as well, but it doesn't matter. Like you can't just make a pictograph and then have the answer based off of that, because it like it'll contort the pictograph. So they've made it so that you can't just like draw a chair or whatever with the things that you had in it to like get the chair ornamentation. So like for example on the bottom one, there will be 10 uninterrupted cheeses. So I'm trying to eliminate all of the cheeses that it would have. So for example, the first and last are obviously already filled, so there can't be cheeses there. So then I have to just work my way in from the other 13 cubes. So there's like 3 more cubes that I need to figure out that don't belong. Does that make sense? So like there's nothing there, obviously. There's also nothing there, because this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's nothing there. And that's going to be 4 and nothing there. And so then the 1 will be in one of these 2 places. So it's not there because that's a 1 and then a 1. So those are taken care of. So 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's probably going to be there. Nothing there. And then 2. So actually there's like 3 variances that could... Okay, so there's like 2 variables right here. So this could be further over here. You know. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not there. It's probably not there. It's not there either, so it's probably there. 3, 4, 5. See? 1, 2. And maybe it's like that, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's nothing there. And then that has to have a square, so that's 2, that's 2, then probably nothing there. But it's saying that that's incorrect. So the 2 is probably there. And then perchance that would be 1 here. And then that would be correct. You see? Hello! Hey, welcome back, Little Red. Man, hearing cheese so many times makes me want some cheese. Ooh, also, for those of you that are new, I am a baker, also kind of sometimes, and a food prep cook, so I can recommend to you some cheese pairings. That seems like something that would be fun for what we're working on. Let me go to our deal. That would be under here. All right, so somebody tell me your favorite type of jam. Give me like a jam flavor. Alright, time's up. I found it. So, does anyone like peach, pineapple habanero? Oh, perfect. I have one for that. So, we have a peach cherry jalapeno at our work. So that one is that one's really good with a, like a sharp, either cheddar or, where did I put my spicy? Oh wait, it was in the Valentine's Day one. 1 second. Or was it Mother's Day? Okay, I have both of those, yes. So, Valentine's. Cherries, Father's Day, Mother's Day. Okay, it was in the Mother's Day thing that we sent out. Peach cherry jalapeno is one of the ones we have, so pineapple habanero would also probably go well with that. That would pair well with a creamy goat cheese, some thin sliced prosciutto, and like a salt wafer cracker. Or pineapple habanero can also be an excellent glaze on like a pork tenderloin or other assorted like barbecue meats. Like for example, that'd be like a really good glaze for like a pulled pork sandwich, or like if you were gonna do like a sort of barbecue chicken-y sandwich, but you wanted to have like a bit of like sweetness to it. So you would do the barbecue chicken with just like your salt, pepper, and then you'd use the pineapple habanero as a glaze over that chicken just before it comes off, so you're not like burning it. And then that would be with like a really like sharp cheddar, or I guess not sharp cheddar, but like a sharper cheese as opposed to like a creamier cheese. And then for strawberry, yeah, super good. I love to cook. One of these days, okay, so ideally, here's the 10-year plan, you guys. I get a little house with some acreage on it. I cook on one of the streams. One of the streams we just make dank-ass food while I'm doing my food prep and stuff. So if you guys don't cook, I teach you to cook. Oh, also right now, oh, hell yeah. I also cook healthy stuff too, but I can cook naughty bad for you stuff. So, ideally, I have a house, I have some land, we do a cooking stream because I really enjoy that, and then we make little treats and then we give them away to people because my partner would lose his mind if I was just feeding him snickety snacks all the time. And then I also like making little mini cakes, but that's for another time. And then I would do like homesteading stuff, where I would teach you guys about animals, because you guys would be my captives, my hostages. And it would be a little bit less chaotic than like, if you guys are familiar with Urban Rescue Ranch. Big fan of the show. I am a big fan of his show. I don't know that he's entirely a fan of this show, although we have conversed one time. But then, because I'm nocturnal, at 5 o'clock in the morning when I would be going to bed, we would have the nighttime bird stream where I would milk the goats and then do like a goat milk to like barn cat pipeline where we're like feeding barn cats a little bit of goat milk in the morning, which I think would be so fun and so cool. I've just been like liking all of these TikToks with just people like feeding tiny baby kittens goat milk. Oh, so cute. That's also like a decent milk replacer for a lot of critters that are that you just like find yourself with, because goat milk is a little bit easier on the stomach than cow's milk for smaller critters, and they're just kind of like a good like sort of catch-all dairy critter. So then I would milk a goat, I would feed little critters, and then maybe on the cooking channel, or I guess on the cooking stream or whatever, we would make that goat milk into goat cheese, and then we would put it on things and eat it. It'd be delicious. And then you guys would get to see my dream office setup, which is also kind of like a cat room in the background. So you would actually get to see the kitty cats like back here, there'd be like a little spot for them to sit and like do fun stuff. And I have the same guy that recently just fixed my computer. Shout out to Ryan, he's super crazy smart. I am going to have him build me a bottle cap dispenser. Low-key a little bit Fallout energy. Maybe we make it like Nuka-Cola themed or something, that'd be kind of cool. But my Calico cat, the one cursed by a witch to be a cat, she likes to play with bottle caps specifically, a very specific size and shape of bottle cap. So I would like to, they come off of the Essentia bottles, she's obsessed with them. And I would like to make a contraption that she could just like press a button and they would drop out of it. And so then she could play, and then you guys could like see that in the background, her doing fun little critter things. And then I would have a second streaming area, which is a stone-built barn. Yeah, Ryan MVP because he fixed, I was having a huge like overheating issue with my laptop, and I was also having an issue with like a ton of dropped frame rates and stuff like that, and he totally fixed it. Great. He tried to explain it to me, but I am kind of illiterate when it comes to technology, so that was pretty cool. He was like, here's a way to like set up OBS, and I'm like, oh no, that's crazy, man. I'll like idiot proof that for you. Like, I'll let you know if your instructions are good or not, because I don't understand any of that. Just like, oh no, the little mouse is upset with me again. It's okay, little mouse. 3, 4, doop. Oh wait, no, that's not true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh, so that can't be there. So it must be there. Right, and then that's a 3, but not there. Oh, so that's done. That one's done. How is this? Oh. Okay, so there's the 5. 1. Okay, so that one's done. So I would have a second filming location that would be in this like stone shed that I would have constructed with like a little tiny wood stove. And that would be, I don't know, probably the autism, maybe, I think it's that tism riz you guys are feeling. But I would have this stone shed building, and then that's where this laptop would go, because ultimately I'm not a big fan of laptops, so I would have Computer Ryan, I would have him build me the Ark of the Covenant of like PCs, right? And that's gonna solve a lot of these problems. I'll have dual monitors, so I'll actually be able to read you guys' chats with greater efficiency, because like the YouTube chat has like completely stalled on the tablet, which is supposed to be doing a much better job of, yeah, it's like completely stalled after Kit Kat Melodies message like forever ago. So Streamlabs app on my tablet, almost completely useless. So I'll have dual monitors, so I'll be able to do things and properly communicate with you guys, and the lighting will be better. And there'll be kitty cats in the background, fun stuff like that. And then the kitchen will be perfectly designed. I will meticulously design it with the efficiency that 1950s kitchens hoped to achieve, but with modern flair. And anyway, back to the shed, because the shed is really the pièce de résistance, because the laptop will be there, and then you guys will get to experience like the chaos of farming. I'll have like a little barn door, there'll be goats running around in the background, there'll be chickens that occasionally are in there, because I don't want like my farm animals in my home, because then I think that it will truly be impossible to have a partner in any capacity, because that's insanity. But kitty cats are objectively an indoor critter. Can we all agree on that? They're an indoor critter that occasionally ventures outside, save for barn cats, which are, in my opinion, a completely different species from house cats. I think Felis catus should be diverged into wild Felis catus, feral, essentially, because I guess there's like this whole thing about wild and feral, because feral is that they are domestic and yet not native and oughtn't to be there, like a feral hog as opposed to a wild boar. But once again, I'll just by the setting of the background, you'll know what kind of a stream it's going to be. Whether it's just going to be autistic, like just info dumping about animals. I'll be in a stone shed. Perhaps I'll have some sort of like old-timey trapper attire on of some kind. And then if it's an inside thing, it'll be very clean girl, very rat girl energy. And then in the cooking kitchen, it'll be very like 1950s housewife, because I do love a good apron. And then you guys will get to see all these tasty foods. And then ideally, if I make them correctly, I could ship them to people. Like I could do like cottage law style stuff. And then you guys could get tasty food. Back to the strawberry jam, because I promise I didn't forget. Strawberry jam, personally, depending on the way that you do it, I think personally, we have two different kinds of strawberry jam. We have a plain strawberry, which I think is the best, save for peach, to make a perfect crunchy peanut butter jelly sandwich. Something about like the whole like strawberries within the gooiness of the jam, just is like the perfect medley to go with like crunchy peanut butter on like a multi-grain toast. Just fantastic for that. I have an affinity for peanut butter and jellies. It's probably like something from my childhood, but it has to be chunky peanut butter and it has to be strawberry jam. Barring strawberry jam, it has to be peach jam. I will accept no substitutes. Raspberry jam should go on fingerprint cookies or waffles and nothing else. Speaking of, squirrel, obsessed with waffles, but only the Jiffy blueberry. And here's the thing, I worry giving you guys all of the eccentricities of my cats because I suspect one of you will try and steal one. But I think that would be very, very poor on your end, because I don't think that these cats are really meant to have a different owner, because they're so weird. And I suspect it's because they're from like some sort of ancient pagan deity that has sent them to me as some sort of a boon, because life is super duper hard, you guys. Like, in all of my 30 years, it has never not one moment taken the boot from the neck of the millennial. It is just ridiculous. 3 depressions? Are you kidding? Anyway, enough of regular life. But she insists upon having her own itsy bitsy tiny waffle. So perhaps on the food streams, we will denote that with a waffle for squirrel, because she loves that. I tried to make her own tiny omelet the other day, and she wasted the tiny omelet, and it really hurt my feelings, because it was not only a tiny waffle, but it was from a tiny chicken egg, which is a rarity if you do your chicken math properly. Because I don't know if you guys know this, if you probably live in the city, which I imagine a lot of you do, and you get your eggs from the store, those are ideally, there are different grades to eggs, which is another thing where I've fought the government about, but we'll get into that on a different day. You're usually getting grade A or grade AA eggs. Grade AA is the highest rating. Don't know why they didn't just do a grade C. That's their business, I guess. But it denotes freshness and the quality of the egg. So if you crack a freshly laid egg, there are actually 3 distinct levels to the egg. There's a base yolk, or there's a base white, then there's like a raised like dome of white, and then there's a yolk on the top, and that's a grade AA egg. Yeah, so those are generally grade B eggs, unless you paid, oh, hold on, let me do egg math real quick. Those are probably grade B eggs, which are just fine for cooking with, but I'm telling you, you've not lived the good life until you've like cooked a pasture-raised grade AA egg. I will not return back into the slums of grocery store eggs. I cannot bear it. There are some eggs though I recommend trying out just for funsies. I'm a real big fan of Vital Farms. They have, if you want to be real bougie, they have a version that is all colored eggs. So it's all, I think they're blue eggs. I think it's called True Blue. And all dozen of the eggs, blue eggs. And they are, I believe those are pasture raised. That's what I was buying before I decided to go into the chicken business. And they're fantastic. But they're also like, when last I was buying them, they were like $10 a dozen, which is crazy. Okay, so how many eggs is that? 60 eggs. So that's 15 divided by 60. Yeah, those are absolutely grade B eggs. I would not recommend frying those eggs unless you're putting them like in something. Those are probably good for baking at best. And honestly, it depends on what you're doing. If you're wanting something to rise, like if you're making like bread or something, yes, those are the best eggs that you can get at a store. Now, there are different types of eggs. So like, for example, cage-free eggs, trash. That basically just means that they're not in like a literal cage, which I think that, if I recall correctly, Costco and like other bigger brands, they went, and I think they passed like, there was some like, something got passed or whatever, where it's like, everything has to be cage-free. And so there was like some sort of supply chain error where everybody switched from cage-free to free range. But free range just means that they have like X amount of, they basically have like, I think it's like a 5x5 cube of space, which just means that these chickens are in like giant hoop houses, which the bare minimum requirement to not have to be licensed in poultry things here is like 300 chickens. So you could have 300 chickens in a large enough hoop house, but that doesn't mean that they like go outside or this or that. And that's a lot of birds in one area. So they're probably not going to have very dark yolks because they're probably being fed like either just grass or like a vegetable. Like, you do not want vegetarian eggs. I really hate to show you guys how the sausage is made, but chickens are omnivores and protein is like super important to their diet. If they have too much protein, it causes problems. But if they don't have any protein, not great. Yeah, you do not want to see what 300 chickens look like, I guarantee you. I think for me personally, 30 chickens is my limit. Hard limit, 30 chickens. So once I get to like 32 chickens, we have like sort of a bracket system, and then 2 people get voted off of the island. That is like the hard limit for chickens. Unless they're babies. If there are baby chickens, they're exempt from what we should probably call the Hunger Games or something. But the roosters, you can have 1 rooster per 8 hens, and that's like the bare minimum ratio for that. If you have 1 rooster per 6 hens, you're going to have problems. But ideally, you have 1 rooster per 10 to 12 hens. That's like the sweet spot, where like everybody's chill and copacetic. Yes, I actually was tidying up around the chicken coop the other day. I cut myself and I went to collect eggs instead of just washing my hands because I didn't have any like truly sterile water out there. I have like rainwater or whatever, but like I don't trust the microbes on that for like open wounds and stuff. I'm not trying to like dysentery myself Oregon Trail style, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna let this, like naturally sort of close itself, and then I'll like administer first aid when I get home. And the look Praline gave me, which is, if you follow me on Instagram, she's the like cream color chicken that's got like this little like caramel drizzly thing going on in her feathers. She's incredibly intelligent and super naughty, and she was like piranha about it, and I was just like, knock it off, that's crazy. But yeah, they get ballistic about that. So if they get any kind of cut or wound, there's a special cream that you put on them that's either dyed blue or purple that'll cover that so that they don't look at it. So every year, and I promise I'll circle back to the egg thing, I did not forget. The chickens every year on pagan Easter, and I know it's pagan Easter because it's the exact same. I'm convinced that pagan Easter is decided. I think it's Ishtar or something like that. Let's see, it's in March. It's my friend's birthday too, which is pretty handy. So I text him and I was like, a wonderful pagan Easter to you. It was was it May? No, I think it's March. I think it's in March. Yeah. So Pagan Easter this year was the 20th of March. And the chickens know what day Pagan Easter starts. And once again, I think Pagan Easter is determined based off of the day that the chickens just decide everybody can get it. My roosters just square up, but they're kind of dingbats because, like, I've raised them all. Like, none of them are from anywhere else. I've either purchased them as, like, day-old chicks, or I've literally hatched them from eggs. That's how every rooster on my farm has existed, which is very sweet and very difficult to, like, decide who gets to stay and who gets to go. But the ones that I get from other places tend to have not the best temperament. So those ones are easy to, like, vote off the island. But I have, like, my main 4 right now, which technically counts as 3 because my neighbor is supposed to take one, but that's, like, a story for another day. Eventually, I will also have, like, cameras in my chicken coop so that you guys will be able to, like, kind of check that out. But I'll have to probably put, like, a time gate on there because, like, I think it would be tragic for you guys to see if, like, a predator got one of them or something. I think that'd be terrible. But it would be kind of cool to have you guys as, like, sort of my low-key security team. Like, if you guys were like, hey, by the way, something's in the chickens or whatever, and, like, wake me up. That would be sick. Ooh, if you guys could talk to the chickens, that would be cool, too, if I could set that up. Anyway. So, the chickens are nuts. And pasture raised is truly the best, but it has the highest cost associated because you have to have the land to have the chickens. So in the winter, I house my chickens because I don't want it to look like, if you guys are familiar with the game The Long Dark, the predators get real crazy in the winter because there's not a lot to eat. And I really do truly feel for them, but the chickens are not how they do that. There's plenty of upland game and stuff like that. And so far, me and all of, like, the wild critters and stuff have kind of an understanding. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. That's kind of, like, the best way to live, like, out in the wilds or whatever, is where you're not just, like, constantly making enemies with your neighbors, human or otherwise. So, like, I haven't had a single problem with coyotes. The coyotes, I think, have, I think they dispatched one of the barn cats, but it was, like, a barn cat that, like, refused to be domesticated. So I think that just is kind of, like, unfortunately, like, the sad part about, like, nature just kind of finding a way. But for the most part, like, the turkeys and the quail and stuff like that, like, they just kind of, like, vibe out. All of our, like, house cats and all of our, like, primary barn cats are all in, like, a safe zone that's been created, and they don't, like, mess with us. We have a fox, and he has been very sweet to not mess with my chicken coop at all, which has been very nice of him. And if I were to, like, dispatch any of my chickens that didn't have, like, a stew pot to go into for whatever reason, I take them, like, clear up onto the mountain, like, past civilization, so that I'm not encouraging things to come closer. But I don't think, like, a normal chicken farmer, like, has time to do that kind of stuff. I barely have time to do that, but I understand, like, the ecology behind it. Like, you wouldn't want to create interactions. Yeah, well, but that's Chicago. Like, they don't have anywhere to just, like, go. I will, if it, in the future, if it's mine, I'll do that, but, like, I'm trying to respect, like, the privacy of, like, my landlord and, like, neighbors and stuff like that. But if I have my own compound, like, I'll tell you guys that. But you guys have to, like, behave and not just, like, show up at my house, because I do, like, Second Amendment stuff. So I've never been a fan of, like, people that just show up at your house unannounced. Not a fan of that. But maybe I would do, like tours or something like that, like, in the future if I got, like, mega famous or something, which I doubt. But eventually, like, the internet just, like, learns stuff about you, so it's like, whatever. But yeah, I would love to do, like, a meet and greet with all of the animals where I just, like, am like, this is this chicken, and this is this goat, and that kind of stuff. I think that'd be fun. And ideally, I would have some place that's just, like, so out of the way that I would really only have to worry about, like, wildlife, because one of my big fears is that if I like got a place and had like a bad neighbor with like a misbehaving dog or something like that, and it just comes through and like eats all my chickens, terrorizes my cats and stuff like that. Like that'd really bum me out. Because legally, like trespassers are trespassers, right? Because we live in, you know, the Wild West over here. But I'm not a big fan of doing that if I don't have to. So like I'm more of a proponent of like sort of trap, neuter, release stuff, obviously, historically. But for example, we had a neighbor that their dog just kept escaping and like murdering all of their chickens. And I was like, that's so tragic, but that would never be me, because the neighbor would, here's the cool part about like farm stuff is that there's literally a price tag attached to all of your livestock, which is sad, but also very handy. Because if you want people to not do bad things, there have to be consequences. And the consequence being an insane person that they don't want to deal with is not always the best route to go. So for example, I recommended to my neighbor, I'm like, listen, they killed like 4 or 5 of your chickens. The market value for a chicken right now, or at the time, was $20 a chicken. So I'm like, $20 a chicken times 5, like that guy owes you $100. And if he doesn't give you $100, he owes you that dog, which you then neuter and rehome, and then it's no longer an issue. Well, thank you for coming in. I'm going to try and do we do the royal we. Streams are Monday and Friday, until anything changes. I'm probably going to try and do in the future, like a movie night or something like that on Wednesdays, or maybe like some sort of a reading thing. I'm always on Discord, so you guys are more than welcome to join the Discord. Hit me up whenever. But right now I just only have the 2 days that I can stream because it's like the heat of the summer. And that's when like the most of my like baking and like day job prep work and stuff is. But in the winter, we just rock out. Wednesdays will probably become a big deal in the winter because one of the guys in my work likes to take all of my shifts in the winter, which is fine. He's like building some sort of like vehicle empire. I don't know what he's up to, but good for him. And so back to eggs. Grade AA eggs are a denotion of freshness, but also if you have pasture-raised chickens, you will get a deeper colored yolk because of the critters that they eat and the foliage that they have available. So for example, chickens can't discern capsaicin, which is the spicy part of peppers. So if you want birds to eat seed but mammals to not, put a bunch of spicy cayenne pepper in it. So like up here in the north, you have a bunch of issues with like squirrels getting into your bird feeders, or on occasion like actual deer, which is crazy. So you can just like pour cayenne pepper into it and the birds can eat it no problem. It actually makes the yolks of their eggs more orange. Peppers and marigolds will do that. So they can eat those things and it's good for them. But it also deters things like mammals that can not process spice. So you don't find that really in grocery store eggs because they're either like a pale yellow, which means that they have I think it's like primarily like a vegetarian diet. If they get too much green in their diet, like if they're eating like my kale plant, which they did, they'll get like greener, like it'll be more of a green tinge yolk, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly acceptable. But their diet plays a lot of a part in what color the yolks are. The paler yolks are not necessarily less healthy, but they do have less nutrients than the darker yolks. And like I said, the fresh eggs, like at one point I had a hen literally just like lay an egg in my hand and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And the fresher the egg, it is better to cook in a pan. And then if you give it like 2-3 days, it's actually the best frying egg. And then if you give it 2-3 more days, then it drops to, I think the threshold is a week. A week-old egg is a grade A egg. I wouldn't recommend it. They will eat birds though. Birds are crazy. At one point I went out into my chicken coop and low-key they had like dispatched a gopher and I was like, oh no, this poor little rodent has taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque. This would not have ended well for Bugs Bunny. They eat bones. They love calcium. At one point they were just like ready to fight me because I had I was like down a vehicle, still technically am down a vehicle, because my car has a, what is it? It's like the 4th cylinder or something. Anyway, I'm having engine trouble, so, my car's in the shop. Yay! But it's fine because then that just means I get to avoid things during the hottest part of the day, so it's like low-key kind of a win, but it won't be when I get the bill, so that'll be unfortunate. But they will eat pretty much anything. Frogs, they love frogs. They love lizards. They're a big fan of snake meat. But so I try and take like the little critters like that and like, yeah, it's crazy. So I try and take them off to like a little reptile area that the chickens don't really rock with. So that they can like hide in. We've got like a bunch of like lava rock and stuff like that. So I'm like, here, like hide amongst this that the chickens don't really want to like mess with. And I have right now, I have like a little tiny baby gopher snake. He's like, I don't know, maybe like 10 inches long right now and just like like the size of my pinky. And he was just like eating like the little critters in my shed. And I was like, buddy, you better get under that pallet that I made for you, so that they don't notice you because you are gonzo if they see you. So, yeah, I mean, the pasture-raised eggs, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend it. If you don't eat any right now, treat yourself. They're fantastic. Make yourself the best egg sandwich ever. Hello. We're talking about chickens right now. Ooh, what's your favorite jam? Like, what's your favorite type of jam? We were also doing jam and cheese pairings. I don't know. Oh, strawberry jam. The strawberry jam makes the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and also is the best paired with. Ooh, we also have a strawberry rhubarb, which I don't know if you guys rock with rhubarb, but it's basically like a sour celery. Which I know you're thinking like, why would you pair that with fruit? It's super freaking good. You just don't eat. If you grow it, don't eat the leaves. Those are poisonous. But like most things that are kind of poisonous, they're delicious in parts. So don't take my word for that. That's not legal advice. I don't know if I'm required to say that or not, but we have a strawberry rhubarb, and that one is the best on waffles specifically because it has this like sort of syrupy texture to it. And it really like gets into like the nooks and crannies of all of the waffles. It'd probably be good on a pancake too, but you'd have to make like a whipped cream moat to keep it on there because it like just down the side like just oozes. And that one, yes, strawberry rhubarb's really good. I think that they had pretty decent strawberry rhubarb jam at like Fred Meyer's, I think. That it's so good. Usually people like strawberry rhubarb because their like grandmother made it for them when they were a kid. And if you ever get an opportunity to, I think strawberry rhubarb is best in like a crisp. So if you ever have an opportunity to do that, it is a springtime dessert because rhubarb comes on in I think March, if I recall. But strawberry rhubarb jam pairs best with tangy goat cheeses, thinly sliced cured meats, and a, where's the cracker? It doesn't say the cracker on here. Somebody earlier said, I think it was AE. Is it you, AE? Somebody said pineapple jalapeno. Yeah, it was AE. He said pineapple jalapeno. That would be best as a glaze for like a pork sandwich or like a barbecue chicken. So like right before you take the chicken off, you would glaze it in like a pineapple habanero jam. And then you could make like a spicy Italian kind of, yeah. We also do at the kitchen that I work at, they do a peach cherry jalapeno. which is delicious. I like to do that one. Specifically, you do like, you make, this is also fun party trick. If you're having guests over and you want to be kind of fancy, I don't know if you'd want to see him right now, but one of these days, he's on my Instagram, guys. You can find him. One of these days, I will make him incredibly fat with all of my foods. No, he trains athletes and stuff like that, so he's like super meticulous about his diet. So a lot of the foods that we'll make in the later iterations of like a cooking show in my ideal perfect live stream cinematic universe or whatever, we'll just like ship out to people. So like I'll make jam from the apricots from my like tree, because I also plant all of the plants and stuff. There is this wonderful lady. I promise I'm staying on topic. I think, kind of, maybe I will. There's this wonderful lady that I used to farm sit for, and she does this thing called permaculture agriculture, where if you send her the Google image, like top down of your property, she'll tell you where to put all of the plants at your house for it to be beautiful and gorgeous, and also to grow you the most food and stuff. So she'll be like, hey, you should put like a big rosemary plant here because it'd do the best over here, and also put like an apricot tree over here, and your tomatoes over here, and your basil over here. And so she like does this whole like map of like how your house should be laid out, like plant wise, and I'm gonna have her do that. So like here is, no, that's a video. 1 second. So here's a video of, oh, it's like glary. See, so it's like this one is a caprese garden, so you grow your tomato in the middle, and then she shows you like greens and stuff to put around to keep bugs away from it. But I want her to do my whole house like that. Like the whole front yard is just going to be this like moon-shaped garden of stuff, and then we'll get to like walk around the garden and trim stuff and then make things into it. Like Julia Childs meets like Jeremy Clarkson type of situation. By the way, if you guys aren't watching Clarkson's Farm on Prime Video, huge fan of that show. I think that lovely British man has done more to make farming like popular and mainstream than all of the agricultural shows in the last like 40 years or something. Crazy. I have heard so many more people that understand like farming now thanks to him. Highly appreciate it. So a little backstory on that guy. He is basically like some media darling of England. He is famous for doing like driving around in cars and stuff. He was one of the guys for the Grand Tour and Top Gear or whatever. So he's like a very fancy like car driver guy. He drives like all manner of different like I think like automobiles and stuff like that. I think he drives like a Lamborghini tractor and stuff like that too. But in his old age, I think he's 60 something, he bought a farm in England, and then there's this like young put upon farmer that has to like kind of teach him how to farm, and it's so fun. Highly recommend that. Even if you just want something playing in the background, it will suck you in, I guarantee it. But back to strawberry jam. So yeah, I would like to have, I would ultimately like to have like sort of like a sustainable little homestead situation. So then here's the best part of that. If I don't have to leave my house because everything is already there, I'm not like agoraphobic by any means, but I just would rather do things outside at my own home. Like at my previous residence twice over ago, I had an entire garden in the backyard, and I had this beautiful kitchen, and it was really perfectly set up for filming. It was like a great L shape for there, so I could just have like a rocking camera that goes from the garden to like sort of the kitchen, and I barely even had to move anything. And that was excellent, but I had the worst neighbors ever and a terrible, terrible landlord. So then me and my partner got together, and then he had a great landlord, but the layout of his place was just awful. Terrible. I don't know who designed that house, but they should have their license revoked, because just absurd proportions on this house and like how things were. Not a big fan. So now we are renting a place on like a little farm so that I can like dip my toes back into farming and do a bit of homesteading, because that's really grounding for me and nice. So I've created a financial burden that I need to dig myself out of. And I'd like to move on to my own place and then, like I said, have that girl do like permaculture and stuff. And then we can have like a whole like ecosystem essentially around that. So like I'll show you guys how to make like apricot jam and how to cook it into stuff. And it'll essentially be like low-key, I think, what Meghan Markle thinks she's doing, but an actual person doing that. You know what I mean? Like she's like, oh, look, we have honey from our bees from our backyard. Eventually I will. I think I'm still kind of in the early stages of it. I really don't have anywhere to do it, unfortunately. Like, the whole, like, roommate situation thing here, like, not really conducive to cooking and baking. I mean, like, if I like, had access to, like, a kitchen, I would. Like, I have access to a kitchen, but it's tiny and, like, not set up for cooking. I do have a cookbook that I'm working on, though. Yes, so here's the thing. I'm actually doing a project for my mother-in-law because she's recently retired. She's been a cook for the last, I think, 40 years. And she's actually selling her recipes. So I'm working on a project to reverse engineer all of her recipes because, of course, she doesn't have any because she's a little scamp and she wanted to just keep everything in the old noggin. So I'm going to create a compendium of all of her greatest hits as far as recipes go. And then I'm going to try and also do, like, sort of a vlog style, like, learning the recipes thing with her. We'll see how that goes. She's kind of a private lady, so I don't know that she'll want any of that on camera. But I'm telling you, she makes some of the best food I've ever had in my life. And I went through culinary school. Like, I didn't go through, like, the upper echelons where I, like, paid for a degree for it, but essentially the same deal, but to a degree where I can claim no certification, which is very annoying. And I'm not sure why they do those things in, like, in different programs and stuff like that. Like, oh, if you don't pay us $1,000, you don't get this certificate that basically says that you learned all the same crap as this person that, like, paid for a certificate. Such a weird system, college. Anyway, she is by far one of the best people that I have ever had cook for me, aside for, I think, Gordon Ramsay. I really thought Gordon Ramsay was just, like, whatever, but his tomato soup, like, changed my life, because I had braces on. I know you guys can't tell, because I'm just, like, naturally gorgeous, but I had braces for, like, 2.5 years, and figuring out, like, what to eat with that was a nightmare, and his roasted tomato soup and, like, sourdough. She should. She's a lovely, lovely woman, and she's an excellent cook. And now that she's retired, oh, thank you for following me. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, if you guys subscribe now, I know, like, we're not doing a whole lot. We're just basically writing a book and playing video games right now. But, like, the vision, the plan is there, and I can yap for hours. So eventually, once I build this cinematic universe for you guys, I could potentially just yap for hours of you in all of these different arenas. And you're essentially like, what's the term for, like, you're like an early person to, like, a much larger, grander scheme. The phrasing of that is escaping me. But basically that's the plan. And also, one more time, I'm going to put in here. So if you are watching on the YouTube, this is not the correct YouTube in the future, although I do have a link to the correct author YouTube. This is just the Dinkin' Around YouTube, so if you're interested in the books that I'm writing spicy books, but this is going to be the Dinkin' Around, like, sort of lifestyle vlog YouTube, and then the author one is going to be strictly about the book. So if you don't care about this stuff, I highly recommend following the author one. If you like both of them, recommend following both of them. It really makes no difference to me. It's just, like, what you would like to do as part of the audience. I want you to get exactly what you're looking for wherever you're at. So I wrote a vampire romantasy book, which is going to be book 1 of 3 novels that I'm working on. I have a contemporary fiction that's coming out at the end of this month that is drugs, musicians, untoward coupling between people that probably oughtn't. And, Amazon's there. I have a cat that I have to capture immediately after stream. She's been evading me all day. My roommate's cat is blind and developmentally delayed, but incredibly crafty. So she's made herself known, so she's clearly done with this game of hide and seek that only she was playing. But once I finish this contemporary fiction, which is kind of a grungy, like Gatsby, Nana-esque sort of book, I'm going to take July off to just play video games and do book club stuff, which the book club is free. It's on Goodreads. If you are into the reading aspect of this, go ahead and join that. And then after July, in August, I'm going to start writing my billionaire romance book called Moon and Marble, which I've also been made by my ARC readers to make a part 2 of. It's either going to be Sun and Steel, which is going to be a double entendre based off of the male love interest of that book, or I guess main love interest. I'm not sure how that would be denoted. And then there's a potential 3rd book in that series as well that's going to feature his sister, called Stars and Strings, which is also sort of an allegory for like puppets on a string and also strings, and she plays a stringed instrument. So those are in the works, and then after I get the bones of that constructed and much of the muscle fiber of that book, then I will be working on book 2 of the Born in the Eternal series, which is the vampire romantasy. And that book 2 is Thirst, and it's kind of like a villain arc and a prelude to one of the villain's characters. And then book 3 of Bite will be my next project. And ultimately, the plan is to develop 22 books in total, and each of them will have a Easter egg cover art of one of the major arcana in the tarot deck. And then hopefully after those 22 books I can rest, because we will have created such a compendium of things that then I will just teach you guys how to cook and ship you guys jam and little treats. But now it appears that it is 1 o'clock in the morning, so that's probably, well, it's 1 o'clock here, Mountain Standard Time. So we'll probably finish up this puzzle, and then that will conclude this stream. So pop off that and get back to 3. Oop, not that one. It's 3 a.m. for you. Are you on the East Coast? Yeah, there we go. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, nothing. Hi, squirrel. Hi, are you coming to tell me that the prisoner has escaped? The prisoner has escaped and running about? Yeah. You're so helpful. You know that? You are the most helpful kitty. Yeah, you're so helpful. 1, 3. Probably that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. Yes, hi squirrel. Four, 5. Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks for stopping in. I'm gonna do another stream. I think today is Monday, so I do another stream on Friday. You are all welcome to join the Discord, and you guys can hit me up whenever. Oh, yawning or opening my mouth. Gonna catch a fly. Like the old lady that swallowed a fly? Or did I miss the reference? Long day tomorrow. Hi, Squirrel. Squirrel, you're supposed to be helping me with this mouse puzzle. You're an integral part of this. 6, nothing. 1, nothing. 2. Definitely nothing there. It must be there, and then not there. Aha! We've done it. Ooh. Okay. Two. This has to be 4. Okay. This is an issue 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not there. No, that has to be there. Which means not there. Which means yes here. Aha, we did it! We did it, you guys. Excellent. Now we have alternate versions of this small lamp. Anyway, if you guys, yeah, it's good talking to you guys. If you like this game, once again, it is called, perfect. Main menu. Where's the thing? It is called Squeak Ross. And again, we're just playing the demo, but like there's tons of, I mean, we played the demo for like pretty much this entire game. So, or pretty much this entire stream. So like there's tons and tons of stuff to do just in the tutorial alone. I think she said she has, I'm assuming that the developer is a girl because look at how cute this little mouse is. But there's, nope, not there. What am I looking for? Play. So there are several pages. There's 650 puzzles. I don't know if that is entirely just furniture and accessories or also their color variations, because there is one of each, it appears. And then you can decorate this entire place, and I think this opens up into other rooms, so you could potentially, I think, break this into different rooms. I'm not even entirely sure how I found this game in the Steam demos, but so far, highly recommend it. It's been very entertaining and very relaxing. I was gonna say, when I started the stream, I was like, oh no, I should probably just like not even do a cam this one because everybody gets upset with me when I'm like kind of low energy. But this game was super relaxing. It's definitely what I needed at the end of my day. So, make sure you guys follow on your respective platforms if you'd like more of this content. Because even though I do a writing, and most of it's just yapping, if I'm being honest. Most of the time it's just me yapping. If you enjoy me yapping, follow on whatever platform that you prefer. But if you want to read any of my books, I think I have links to that everywhere on all of them. Eventually, we're going to be doing video game streams as well. I have a couple cozy games to play. I'm looking into multiplayer games. I would love to play games with you guys if you guys are interested in that. The cam is essential. I was trying to like maybe think of doing like a VTuber thing, but I just don't think I have the patience to like, you know, set up the puppet and do all of that. I think it's kind of like annoying. I think I'd rather just like be on here. But I have like hormonal acne, which I know you guys can't see really great because my setup is not like pristine yet. But once we have the HD like setup, I'm gonna get like real upset if you guys can see how like blotchy my face gets. But this game was super relaxing. Honestly, 10 out of 10 for that alone. Definitely gonna purchase this game. And then, yeah, I'm writing books. In the future, like I said, we'll have just like sort of lifestyle streams and stuff like that. I'm working on, funny enough, I'm doing like spicy books, but I'm also working on writing like a children's book about one of my cats. So I can't freaking stay in like one genre. I have like romantasy, contemporary fiction. I've got a couple horror thrillers I'd like to write eventually. So I either need to come up with like some different pen names or something, or I'm just gonna have like a weird compendium of work. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being in here. You definitely made the last 3.5 hours super fun for me. I hope you guys also had a good time. And now I have to go catch my roommate's cat and put it to bed and probably make myself a little snack. Yeah. Thanks guys for being here. I'm glad we finished that last puzzle as well. It was definitely ending on a high note. I think maybe this will be like kind of a go-to game for like sort of low energy streams because it was fun. I wonder if they make like a PvP version of this where like you can visit the other mice. That would be cool. That would be awesome. Like a puzzle, like visit your house kind of situation. Nice. Well, I think that's kind of all she wrote for today. Oh, we can almost end it on 333. We're gonna stay on for another 20 seconds and then try and get this exactly 333. Ideally 33333. Threes are my favorite. Are you ready, guys? We're gonna try and get it right down to the. See how successful we are. I'll also be uploading these to the corrected YouTube as well. So they should be in like 3 or 4 different places. You can see them after the stream. So if you miss it, don't feel bad. I certainly don't hold it against you. Everybody has busy lives. But hopefully you guys will all be able to participate. I read the comments too. So even